midnight deadline. President Trump firing his top election security official who disputed claims of election fraud. This as pressure mounts for the Trump administration to accept the results. And panic shopping, emptying store shelves once again. How retailers are more prepared this time around, but still worried about the dangerous trend. We begin with Georgia's historic elections audit, now uncovering 4 counties that had not properly counted their votes in the original results, the state blaming it on human error. In Floyd and Fayette counties, it amounts to about 2,600 to 2,700 votes each. In Walton, a couple hundred, and in Douglas, about 300. Now, even with these errors, the state says that President-elect Joe Biden's lead over President Donald Trump still amounts to about 13,000 votes. They're also fielding many other complaints that have been largely debunked.
So I had to triage them as they come in because we accept everything on face value that it's a real thing. And then we'd see, is there a way to get to evidence on this? Is there a way we can get people assigned to those? And if they affect more voters, they would essentially move to the top of the list.
That is the Secretary of State's numbers guy, Gabriel Sterling, in a media briefing that began just about 11 this morning. And despite the hiccups they've encountered, the Secretary of State's office says every county is on track to complete the audit before the deadline. That is midnight tonight. Our Tracy Amick Piers in Gwinnett County with an update on where they stand.
Gwinnett is among the counties still working to meet tonight's deadline. They tell us their elections team is working on data entry right now, and they are not sure how long it will take to wrap that up, but they feel confident they will meet the deadline. The Secretary of State's office told us today 112 have found only single-digit discrepancies or any discrepancies at all with the new hand tally and their original reported results. Now, once all the counties turn in their retally numbers, the next step is for the state to certify the results. That deadline is Friday. Under Georgia law, once the results are certified, a candidate has 2 business days to request an official recount. Now, that's if there's less than a half a percentage point separating the candidates. According to the Secretary of State's office, right now, Joe Biden has roughly a 13,000 vote lead over President Donald Trump. Now, that's roughly 0.25%.
Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, meanwhile, continuing to defend Georgia's election process and himself from all of the verbal attacks launched from within his own party. And some of the most pointed have come from Republican Congressman Doug Collins, President Trump's pick to oversee his recount team here in Georgia. During a one-on-one interview with our Jeff Hollinger this morning, Raffensperger had some of his strongest words yet for Collins.
When we had the Senate and we had President Trump, and we had the Congress for those 2 years, Doug Collins, he was the congressman. He had not a single bill on election improvement, election reform. And now he's out here talking, but he never did anything when he was a congressman. And people need to hold him account for that. The truth is staring him in the face, and he just wants to spread misinformation, disinformation. And so if he doesn't want to stand up and really stand on truth, what am I supposed to do about that?
Raffensperger also claims the president damaged his own chances to win Georgia by spreading distrust over mail-in ballots. He says more than 24,000 Republicans who voted absentee in the June primary did not vote at all in November. We'll post more of Jeff's full interview with the Secretary of State on our 11Alive YouTube page. Accuracy and perspective, that's what our 11Alive voter access team will continue to bring you through the audit and January Senate runoffs. If you have questions or concerns, be sure to email us at whereatlspeaks@11alive.com or text us at 404-885-7600. Just hours ago, President Trump fired the nation's top cybersecurity official who oversaw the election security effort, calling it the most secure in U.S. history. The president apparently upset with Chris Krebs putting out facts that contradicted his false assertions about election fraud. This latest controversy coming as President-elect Joe Biden's team is making new calls for the White House to share key information with them. NBC's Kristen Welker has the latest.
President Trump overnight announcing the firing of top DHS cybersecurity official Chris Krebs on Twitter, claiming without evidence that Krebs had put out highly inaccurate information after Krebs and other security officials called the November 3rd election the most secure in American history. Krebs also debunked the president's baseless conspiracy theories about fraud, writing in a statement, "There is no evidence that any voting system deleted or lost votes, changed votes, or was in any way compromised." Overnight, Krebs tweeting from his personal account, "Honored to serve. We did it right. Defend today, secure tomorrow." Just days before the election, Krebs appeared in this video, urging Americans to reject disinformation about voting.
The last line of defense in election security is you, the American voter. So be prepared for efforts that call into question the legitimacy of the election.
The firing prompting immediate backlash, and Congressman Cedric Richmond, set to join the Biden administration as a senior advisor, reacting overnight.
The president didn't like his answers, so he got rid of them. And American people, at some point, my Republicans, no matter where you are, at some point stand up against just flat outright lies.
Nebraska's Republican Senator Ben Sass writing, he obviously should not be fired. It comes as pressure is mounting on President Trump to concede the election and to stop blocking Joe Biden from having briefings on critical matters from national security to COVID-19. Biden met with national security experts from outside the government Tuesday to highlight the lack of government cooperation in his transition. The leaders of 3 top medical organizations warning the Trump administration that data and information about COVID need to be shared to save countless lives. Also Tuesday, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who has not publicly recognized Joe Biden's victory, signaling for the first time he's preparing for it.
We're going to have an orderly transfer from this administration to the next one. All of it will happen right on time, and we'll swear in the next administration on January 20th.
And another move by the president coming under heavy criticism. He's planning to move ahead with a significant reduction of U.S. forces in Afghanistan and Iraq before leaving office. The withdrawal, effective on January 15th, will leave 2,500 troops in both Middle East countries. Shortly after the announcement, a rocket attack on the Green Zone in Baghdad and a similar attack in Afghanistan. Several lawmakers have criticized the move, including Trump's allies.
12:06 the current time, and it looks beautiful on the outside. Plenty of sunshine around. Hopefully you'll get a chance to enjoy it. I tell you, some areas will try to make you get into the mood of Christmas. Look at that. They got the Christmas decorations up. Looks beautiful at night as well. It's all lit up and everything. Even before Thanksgiving, trying to get you in that mind frame. Makes you feel good, right? Not bad. I just have to wait. I have to wait until after Thanksgiving. I get past the turkey leg first. We're looking at temperatures in the 50s, upper 50s right now. You got 58 in Gainesville, same in Atlanta and Peachtree City, 55 degrees. Nichols over in Carrollton, 57 degrees in Rome, 51 up in Blairsville. We're looking at 57 degrees over toward Edenton at the current hour. On our way to 61 for an afternoon high today. Again, mostly sunny skies all day long. You know, the good news is that the winds have begun to die down on us. Winds about 5 miles per hour. We'll take that instead of those winds we had yesterday. Going to see clear skies tonight, and with the lower winds, we'll see those temperatures at 50 at 7 o'clock, but then fall down to the 30s once again for overnight lows tonight. So it's going to be another cold start to the day on Thursday. This is probably your last look at Iota. Now down to 30-mile-per-hour winds, moving to the west at 12 miles per hour. It is making its way off the coast of San Salvador. Will move into the Pacific Ocean, and there is where it should begin to dissipate. So, wow, what a monster storm, right? What a monster season. We're going to talk more about it in the full forecast coming up. Sheba, back to you.
From crime in the city to COVID-19, in the past hour, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms talked about it all in a public safety briefing with reporters. Mara Sirianni listened in.
The crackdown on crime took up a good portion of the mayor's briefing, everything from tackling street racing to a spike in violent crime at Atlanta bars and nightclubs. First, APD addressed street racing. They say an arrest was made last night of a man believed to be the ringleader of one of the largest street racing events here in Atlanta. Mayor Bottoms also announced APD will begin publicizing Atlanta's most wanted so the public can aid in solving crimes. Bottoms also talked about an uptick in crime and violence at bars and nightclubs. The latest deadly incident happened Sunday morning outside the Up Lounge. Police say 25-year-old Frederick Asbury, a former Marine, was shot and killed. Bottoms said there's a likely explanation for the trend.
A number of them involve people from out of state. That seems to be a trend that we are seeing, that when the nightclubs are closed in Chicago, people are coming to Atlanta to party.
And when it comes to COVID-19, Bottoms says testing in Fulton County is up more than 5%. She's also asking families to remain vigilant this holiday season.
Abducted and raped in broad daylight, Gwinnett County Police need your help identifying this man who they say violently attacked a woman out for a walk. There were no witnesses, no security cam video, the crime hidden in plain sight. John Sherrick has more on the investigation from Duluth.
It was 9 in the morning, September 20th. A woman was just walking along Pleasant Hill Road near this gas station, police say, and a man suddenly appeared, grabbed her, pulled her into some nearby tree cover and raped her, beat her, causing serious injuries. This man, she told police. This is her description of the man who attacked her. Detailed, specific. The GBI artist drew it. Gwinnett County Police Corporal Colin Flynn says the fact that the man chose his target totally at random.
This obviously makes this a very dangerous suspect.
Dangerous and seemingly able to hide his crime in plain sight. The Georgia DOT says 65,000 vehicles a day drive this stretch of Pleasant Hill. No one saw what happened. No one at the gas station. Not the security cameras. No one at other nearby businesses. They were all still closed at 9 a.m. The car dealership across the street, too far away. The rape suspect out there somewhere. The woman and police hope this picture of him goes everywhere, so he has nowhere to go but to jail.
Before he has the opportunity to possibly do this to another victim.
And here's another look at the sketch. It is a Crime Stoppers case with a reward of up to $2,000 for anyone who can help find this accused predator. And the reward increased to help track down the man accused of sexually assaulting a woman near Lenox Square earlier this month. Crime Stoppers offering $5,000 for tips leading to an arrest. Atlanta police releasing the video you just saw and these pictures showing the man walking in the mall. If you know who he is, call 911 or Crime Stoppers Atlanta. The man wanted for brutally beating a woman he met on the dating app Hinge, arrested in Kent, New York. Police there taking Benjamin Fancher into custody yesterday morning, 5 days after allegedly attacking Brittany Corriere inside his car in Atlanta. The victim bravely sharing pictures of her bloodied and swollen face from her nightmare of a first date on social media. Her attorney, Michael Sterling, crediting another woman with helping officers in New York track him down.
Because a woman saw her story, realized it was the guy she was about to go on a date with, and just before she went on a date with him, she was able to call her local police department and have him arrested.
Fancher will be brought back to Atlanta to face charges. 11Alive reached out to Hinge multiple times to clarify on whether they offer or require background checks on its users. They've responded to our emails but have not answered that question. Silent community spread. It is one of the main concerns keeping Georgia in the COVID red zone. How health experts say it should be tackled.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscast, not a
Turning now to the coronavirus pandemic, and Georgia is still in the red zone. That's according to a new report from the White House Coronavirus Task Force. Despite being in the red zone, Georgia has the second lowest rate of coronavirus cases as of November 15th. It is high here, but not as high as the rest of the country. The report says more than 60% of all Georgia counties have moderate or high levels of community transmission. It also mentions silent community spread as a main concern. The task force suggests focused testing for both asymptomatic and pre-symptomatic people, wearing masks at all times in public, and increased physical distancing. Now, here's a closer look at the numbers. The state reporting a record yesterday for COVID-19 testing. More than 53,000 people got tested. That's more than double what we see on a normal day. New cases also jumped by more than 3,500, and that's almost double our average daily increase over the past 2 weeks. The number of people in the hospital is also rising. More than 1,700 Georgia patients are now in need of serious medical care. We have been seeing the number of people in hospitals continue to grow over the past month now. And there's another big step this noon in the hunt for a coronavirus vaccine. Pfizer and BioNTech now releasing the final analysis of their vaccine candidate, saying it is now 95% effective. The companies say the efficacy rate was consistent across all races, ethnicities, age, demographics, including those over the age of 65. The vaccine was well tolerated. No serious safety concerns were observed. The companies now say they plan to submit a request to the FDA for an emergency use authorization within days. They're also planning to produce up to 50 million doses this year and over 1 billion by the end of next year. The trial will continue to collect safety data on the participants for 2 more years. 11Alive is committed to bringing you the facts about COVID-19. Check the special coronavirus section of the 11alive.com for breakdowns of Georgia case numbers, the latest on vaccines, and more.
All right, what's your plans for this afternoon? I was sharing earlier about leaves on your grass, and you got to get them off, right? You know, a leaf here or there is not going to hurt you, like what you see right here, of course, because they're biodegradable. So they'll biodegrade before spring. But if you have a bunch of leaves sitting there, smothers the grass. Not good. Not good. All right, get out there and rake. That said, and maybe do my lawn as well. 61 will be your afternoon high temperature for today. Notice the young lady has on that vest. Look how cool that vest is. You got the little sweater or, you know, underneath. Very comfortable for this afternoon. 61 is cool for us, especially for this time of year, below the average. We should be around 65, 64, 65 for this time of year. Clear skies will be around all day long today and tonight. Temperatures in the 50s right now, but we're going up to the 60s. It just shows you that. 61 for your high today. 58 right now in Athens. 58 also in Atlanta and Peachtree City. 57 degrees in Covington, Thomaston, and over toward LaGrange. 52, the cool spots up here in North Georgia Mountains. Looking at Blairsville at 52, and 52 also in Clayton at the current hour. The Wizometer is how we rate your weather on a scale from 1 to 11, with 11 being the most perfect day we can have for this time of year. Going to give it a 10. That's double digits. Not an 11, but a 10, because we are going to be below the average. But again, we'll have plenty of sunshine around. The good news is that we don't have to worry about that wind that we had yesterday. Not as breezy, not nearly as breezy as it was yesterday. High pressure up to the north of us. You get clockwise flow around an area of high pressure. And so our winds today out of the northeast, we'll see them change to more easterly as that area of low pressure continues to scoot to the east and eventually get into more of a southerly flow, similar to what's taking place back out here to the west over toward eastern Texas. Once that takes place, that's when we'll start to see the temperatures begin to creep up. Saw one of my friends yesterday. He said, "Hey man, turn the heat on." Yeah, I know. A lot of you don't like it cold. I'm enjoying it myself. Let's take a look down here in the tropics and a couple areas watching. See that cluster of thunderstorms over there? Well, it's saying about a 30% chance for development there, 0 to 30, that is, over the next 5 days. We'll be looking at that. But the monster hurricane that we had, Iota, now no more. You can barely make out the center of circulation, but that area of low pressure is now moving off the coast of San Salvador. Winds up to 30 miles per hour. Moving to the west at 12 miles per hour. It's probably the last update from the Hurricane Center that we'll receive, as it's now just an area of low pressure and will continue to slide further off the coast. In fact, here are the latest models from this. Takes it right on into the ocean and kind of leaves it there to the south, just kind of meandering around a little bit, sliding over toward the west. Will it form, or could it form into something tropical? Well, it's possible. Wouldn't be the first time that we've seen one storm jump basins. So it could happen, but for us, we really don't want any more storms. That was number 30 right there, and never seen that before, ever, and especially a category 5 this late in the season. And so the next would be named Kappa if we happen to get one. The season officially ends on the 30th, but we've seen storms even form outside of the season boundaries as well. Here's our forecast track model. You can follow along with the time right there at the top of the screen. No changes for today, no changes again tomorrow. It won't be until Friday that we'll notice the clouds coming in from the south there. That southerly flow coming in increases our clouds briefly on Friday morning, but by the afternoon we'll clear those out. But it also will boost our temperatures as well. So on Friday we're looking at a high of 68. 70 will be the high temperature for Saturday. Both days will give it an 11Alive day. More clouds working in by Sunday, especially Monday, a 20% chance for the rain, 30% chance, a little better on Tuesday of next week with 65 degrees for the afternoon high temperature.
All right. Still looks great out there. Chesley, thank you. New COVID restrictions have triggered panic buying and supermarket shortages once again. The warning from the retail industry if this continues.
Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay
The early days of the pandemic, store shelves in many areas are starting to look bare again as people stock up amid more shutdowns and restrictions. But the message from the retail industry, there is no need to panic and start hoarding, or you could create a problem. Here's NBC's Sam Brock.
In Pennsylvania, this store aisle without a single product to sell, as some shelves from Seattle to Miami looking ragged and bare. Reminiscent of the pandemic's early days, though scenes like these right now are sporadic, with shoppers trying to take it in stride.
I think we're probably going to be buying normally. Certainly worry about it. You know, people are very reactive.
Well, not this time around. There's enough that's going to be around.
A lot has changed since the spring, when nervous Americans were snapping up necessities in a free-for-all. These days, manufacturers are churning out more products, and many retailers are capping how much you can buy of high-demand items.
There is plenty of supply, and if everyone will remain calm, shop for what they need,
but for what they need for the next week or two, not for what they might need in 6 months, I think everything will be fine.
Leslie Saracen's group represents some 33,000 stores. She points out shoppers might not always find the exact brand they're looking for, but often stores have perfectly acceptable alternatives.
If it has the same percentage of alcohol or whatever the ingredient that it has on the Clorox, I'm going to buy it.
Clorox says its disinfecting products are still flying off the shelves, sales up 500%. The company telling NBC News it remains laser focused on meeting highly elevated demand, adding a second manufacturing line next year. But it's not just wipes people are scooping up.
We're not in that unabated demand of April just yet, but at this current rate, who knows what the next few weeks are going to hold for us.
New York-based Boxed is a food delivery service for big brands, which says over the last 4 weeks, toilet paper orders have jumped 218%, household cleaners more than 300%, and disinfectants a whopping 406%.
134% increase in a week. And so, that type of rise in a single category is just, it's not normal.
For the first time in NFL history, an all-black officiating crew, and they're being led by an Atlanta native. We'll have all the details.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Making history for the first time ever, the NFL has assembled an all-black officiating crew. Atlanta native Jerome Boger, a Morehouse grad, will lead the 7-man unit during the Monday Night Football game next week. Boger refereed Super Bowl 47, and this is his 17th year as a league official. Monday's matchup is in Tampa between the Rams and Buccaneers. And for the first time since 1975, the NBA draft was not held in June due to the pandemic. Instead, it is happening tonight. The league's future stars will be drafted virtually, and there's a good chance at least 3 former Metro Atlanta stars will be picked in the top 10. The Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, may go #1 overall. Former McEachern standout Isaac Okoro could end up with the Hawks at #6, and former Peachtree Ridge High's Devin Vassell, the Sewanee native, could be the 10th overall lottery pick going to the Phoenix Suns. The honor of first pick goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves. The 72-game regular season will begin on December 22nd. So some local boys to cheer for. For the last 65 years, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, otherwise known as NORAD, has tracked Santa Claus around the globe on Christmas Eve. And despite the pandemic, NORAD will still monitor Santa as he and his reindeer, led by Rudolph, make the whirlwind trip around the globe, delivering gifts to all of the nice children. But not every child will be able to get through to Santa's volunteers. This year, the number of volunteers has been drastically cut to 10 people per shift. So your child might not get through the operator, but the webpage will be up and running. And of course, it's 2020, so there's an app for that. Thank you for watching.
Uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority